Hey everybody, welcome back to a Zoo Tycoon 2 video. Today we're back in the creative zoo working on the new area of our place, which I'm deeming, help me figure out a good name for it, but I'm deeming it like the coastal paradise. Because it's basically going to be, I wanted to do something with the marine animals, so we're doing something with marine animals. It's going to be a coastal area. We're just going to have a bunch of coastal animals, kind of make it look nice and cool, I guess. I don't know the best way of describing this. You'll see how we do it. I think it looks pretty nice. Probably not the best place that I've done yet, but it still looks pretty nice. We test out a lot of things that end up failing miserably, and you'll see that here shortly. But anyway, let's get talking about the Zoo Tycoons of the twos. My apologies, my mind is just not in the right place. I just did a good old 2-hour live stream, and I'm a little tired, so cut me a little bit of slack, because, you know, this is life as a whole. I'm also fixing up these damn rocks because they continue to get in the way occasionally. We still need to honestly figure out the backside of Magic Mountain, but we will get that figured out in the upcoming videos. I wanted to kind of get the layout of the coastal place, then we can do little fixes in certain areas for the rest of our zoo as a whole. Like, there's still stuff to do in areas like Monkey Island and stuff, just with extra scenery. Trees are important. Fun fact, you need trees to have a happy-go-lucky life. But anyway, here's the plan. Ignore what I'm doing right now. Just close your eyes, pretend it's not happening, because it just doesn't work out very well. But I didn't want to edit it out because that just, you know, makes me seem like, oh, I'm the greatest builder alive. I completely thought of the greatest idea in the world. I don't have to try multiple things at one time. I had to try this. It totally didn't work. I wanted to try to make the area sunken down a little bit just to add a little extra character to it. And instead, it just totally looked horrible and nothing really worked with it at all. So this all ends up getting flattened back up to the surface. We'll try to create a sense of depth in the area in other ways. Granted, any other circumstances probably would have worked, but the tanks make it really funky. So that's the main problem here, because if you look here, we have the tanks like that. You can't bring the water to the right level so that they actually have a decent amount of water in there because of them being so low. So it just, like, it's really odd. Don't worry about it. If you're making a coastal area or a marine area as a whole and trying to make it look nice, good freaking luck, because this was a bit of a pain to actually figure out what I was doing in this damn place. But anyway, here's the real situation that we're working with here. We want to put in some sea lions, and we have two different kinds because of mods. I have the normal California sea lions, and then I have they're like these bluer sea lions that look pretty cool. I want to have both of them. They're both coastal. I don't think they'll kill each other in the exhibit, so we're going to just hope and pray they don't. But then we'll have, you know, both of those kinds of sea lions in this exhibit. That makes it a bit more of a, you know, user-friendly, guest-friendly experience to be able to see two different kinds of animals. And we actually focus on that idea for the rest of the exhibits in this area of the zoo, because we end up putting in another exhibit with rockhopper penguins, but also pelicans, just because, you know, that works together. The penguins aren't going to kill the pelicans. The pelicans are not going to eat the penguins, to my knowledge. That would be incredibly sadistic if they did, so we're going to pretend they won't do that, and it will look pretty nice in the end. Then we'll also have some bottlenose dolphins, because who doesn't love dolphins besides when they rape human beings, which is a thing. Let's just not worry about that. But we'll also throw in some manta rays into that exhibit just because they kind of float around and don't do a whole lot of anything to anybody there. So here's a tip for you. I tried to put in a waterfall here. That's not going to work because we are at a 45-degree angle on the mountain trying to put in a waterfall, and that's not in this game because, you know, that's life, I suppose, is that you can't have 45-degree waterfalls. I don't know. It's a little frustrating if I'm being honest with you, but what are you going to do? So here's our first coastal exhibit. This is going to be the sea lions. They are going to float around. We have it where you can view them from the main area, which is that dirt path right there, or you can see them from the sides, which will mainly be the water area, or you can see them from the tiny bit of land on the other side, which we will attempt to make nice so that they actually do go over there. So this is where we put in a legitimate waterfall, and this is going to look really nice when it's completely done. It may not look like it right now, but I can reassure you, it is going to look nice when all is said and done. And it also adds to coming down from Magic Mountain, because it adds a little bit of like feeling like you're actually coming down from a mountain, and less of a situation like you're just walking down from an artificial mountain that's being made. So we're going to be able to put more rocks in there, and it's going to look pretty nice. So this is where I'm deciding this would be a great time to have pelicans and rockhopper penguins in here. So this whole place, we're going to have it kind of separated. There's going to be water in the middle, and then the penguins will be on the side with more water. The pelicans will be on the side with less water. And these exhibits end up looking really nice. And we're also going to put in a little bridge right here. And this is where I'm just like, wow, I've somehow pulled together this area that seemed doomed from the start. It looks really nice. I always liked kind of the go over a bridge right by a waterfall kind of situation. I think it looks really pretty, and it's going to work really well here. Now, I do want to do a tiny disclaimer, okay? I had this problem in my original Zoo Tycoon 2, not my original, but the most recent Zoo Tycoon 2 series that isn't this one. It was still modded. I set up a penguin exhibit, and I had the elevated path run over it. The problem was, since you can't really set up a fence there, the penguins just occasionally walk right out of the exhibit, and there's really nothing we can do to stop them. I think they can still do it here. I try to set up a fence kind of in there so that they don't do it, but there's not much that I can do to fix that. You got to keep in mind, the zoo is less about the functionality and more about just making a beautifully designed zoo. So don't be surprised if you were to implement this in your own zoo, if you're even still playing Zoo Tycoon, which I feel like I'm probably like one of 8 people on the planet that still play this game. If you try to implement this, just be aware that it might not work as intended right here. Your animals might escape from the zoo. I'm not really planning on ever playing this as a legitimate campaign type situation. I'm planning on just creating a beautifully designed zoo and then, ending the series and moving on with my life. But if you were to play it, then you may see that kind of situation happen. So, Rock Simulator 2017, that's basically what this game has been forever. We're just putting in so that this mountain looks pretty all of a sudden, and it looks pretty nice. You can see how you're coming down from the mountain, and you're kind of surrounded by the rocks, and it looks really, really good. When we put in this rock up above, it makes it seem like the water's coming down. It looks really pretty. I think it looks really good. We're just testing it out. There's the waterfall. It's really nice. I like it a lot. I hope you guys do as well. The Rockhopper Penguins, they need a rock island. I figured I'd put in their exhibits in, their full states. Next episode, we will likely be working on getting the exhibits for Magic Mountain in. And then after that, we're going to be just figuring out, we still have one tiny area of the zoo left to figure out, which is the area right behind this coastal area, back over there by the pelicans. If you have ideas, let me know. Otherwise, I don't really have a lot of ideas. I'm sure if I sat down and looked around for a bit, I could figure out something that we could put back there. But for right now, I don't really know a whole lot. We could do some kind of like night exhibit, have it indoors or something. Maybe I'll do that. That would probably look pretty cool. I'll see. I'll figure it out. Let me know if you have any suggestions in the comments down below. I always love getting your guys's feedback on stuff and seeing what you guys have to say. I take it to heart. So there's also these beautiful trees. Some mod added that, and they look really, really good in these exhibits and make them look a little bit more natural. And I like that a lot. So you can see that it just looks a lot fuller in these exhibits, which I appreciate a fair amount. I do also recognize the tanks should have a tank filter, and I'm going to figure out a way to put those in where they're not horribly disgusting looking, because usually they are. So we'll figure that out. We had to reroute the tram line a little bit as well, the Sky Tram line. And I think we actually reroute it one more time just because they're like really awkward in how they are placed. And we also had them just running through this area, and this tank right here is not going to like having the Sky Tram inside of it. Actually, it's totally fine with it. Whatever, that's fine. I still rerouted it anyway, just because I wanted the Sky Tram to hit inside of these exhibits a little bit, just to kind of add some viewing pleasure to that Sky Tram trip. So, inside of this tank, we're going to have the dolphins and the manta rays. Is a very simple way to set up the exhibit. You just put in their food, you put in the animals, and you call it a happy-go-lucky day. That's going to do it for this episode. I know it was, it wasn't exactly short, but it was shorter in terms of my recording time and stuff along those lines. If I'm doing 2 videos of these a week, I got to make them slightly shorter, just so we can crank through these videos and make this beautiful zoo. If you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!